Hi everybody, it is Friday and it is obviously time for hashtag Flip Through Friday, which is hosted by Gwen the Trash Witch now, previously hosted by Harmony's Creations. Previously, I guess, before I ever knew about it, it was hosted by Christina at Christina's Shack. Anyway, welcome to Flip Through Friday. Today I am going to be very brave and I'm going to show you this junk journal that I made, and it is huge, and it is, I mean, people don't like this. They think it's ugly. I think it's very beautiful. It's got stuff spilt on it. I am thinking about finishing the cover on this, but it's made with old envelopes from the Power Company, which is what you see this is. It looks kind of unfinished. It does have this beautiful dangle that lives on it that's got lots of beads and lots of really cool ribbons, and it's just very, very pretty and is removable. And I might remove this just while we flip through to allow us to lay flat a little bit better. This is 4 signatures, and I made this. This was constructed entirely out of junk, and I used a Ritz cracker box and some junk mail, and it's got pages that were made either out of, one of the signatures was made out of grocery store flyers, and I've pretty extensively decorated this. And this was my Trash to Treasures journal. So I have another journal that I'm working in now, and I show that frequently on my channel, and that is my visual journal, which is kind of the same flavor of journal. That one's a lot nicer a junk journal than this, but it's also made out of like scrapbooking papers and things. This thing was made out of garbage, and I called this my Trash to Treasures journal, and it is almost completely full. I do think there are some pages in the back where they could use a little bit more stuff, but hey, let's look at this because this is going to take forever if I don't get started. So I already mentioned that how I made this. It's hefty. I think that I should make things a little bit smaller, but it's got this pocket, which is just a paper bag from a local restaurant. Something came in there, I don't know what. It was obviously not greasy. And I started out I made this out of garbage. I wanted it to be a true junk journal, and so it's got a lot of like magazine clippings from ads and things. And these are just kind of things that I've tucked in later. But, a lot of this is made out of, I have a whole bunch of this tissue paper from Who Gives a Crap. This is where I wrote my gratitudes for the day, and I was keeping, this is, there's a company called Who Gives a Crap, and they wrap the toilet paper that they send you. You can order toilet paper in the mail, and it comes in these beautiful tissue papers, and that's what makes most of the pages in this journal. It's not really sturdy enough to stand up to, but it has all these great patterns going on. And so I have on pretty much every page reinforced that with a lot of like, I mean, just really in many cases junk paper, and in a lot of cases things that were mail or junk mail and things like that. This is a little tiny journal that I made to include in here, and this is made out of a chocolate wrapper label. One of my friends at work bought this, and we shared the chocolate, and I was like, can I have the wrapper? And I just made a little journal, and it now lives in here. And then this was like, I think off of some clothing. I'm not really sure, but it has all this just really cool Japanese writing on it. And so I kept it because I liked it. So it kind of lives in there. And there's like little bits and pieces, an index card that I just did some really basic doodling on. This is a note. Well, it's not from my niece, but my niece, I was talking to her, and her mother said to say 3 nice things about Aunt Christina. And she said that I'm wonderful, nice, and I don't send packages. So I wrote that down and put it in here, along with a few other things. Just lots of like interesting places to write, and I've decorated pages, and this is a napkin that I had, and I've decorated it with some stickles and a stamp and more writing and this kind of cluster, and just lots of fun and cool things in this journal. I love this journal, and the reason why, oh, that's actually money. European money in here. I have not been into Europe, but I think I found that the other day and actually just stuck it in here. Some tickets from things that I have been to. This journal I started, if we look at the journaling, 5 years ago or so. And so you can see this is November 2021 and this is March 2022. So, you know, I was aiming to finish this in like a couple of months, but of course I didn't. It's very interesting. I work up until in this until like, I don't know, maybe probably I've worked on this year. There's some cards from a trip I did take to the Grand Canyon. This is a sticker I got, I think, probably before I made this journal, but I got this as like from a band that I saw at when I was in Asheville, North Carolina. That was like back in 2019. If you get to go, I highly recommend it. There's a pocket and a card that I made, and I'm just decorating and I'm writing about things that I'm grateful for. And this is a pocket that I made just out of some magazine clippings. This is an airline ticket. I think that was also from, I know this is a thing that at the Grand Canyon. Okay, keep moving. Some washi tape and just some notes that I've put in there. That was talking about a trip, planning a trip to Florida that I went on with my brother. I used to travel a lot, apparently. And then these were like all just like magazine clippings and collage from magazines. And this is actually a pocket, and that's just some, I kind of started using junk, and then and this is junk, and this is from a flyer that came in a subscription box that I had. So I'm still kind of using junk. I do kind of start to add in more and more things that are not junk and things that are actual like kind of scrapbooking supplies or things like that, but that's okay. This is made out of a clothing tag, and this is just paper out of a smaller notebook, and I've put it in. I thought that was really cool to kind of paste that in different ways. And this is a photocopy from a book that I got, and that's just a tag decorated with some collage from a magazine. Here I am starting to kind of use some of my scrapbooking supplies, where this tag came from, or this like cardstock came from that I've collaged on. And I just wrote on, I think, some quotes on these cards, or some words. And I really loved these two women. really liked how this kind of came out with, like, I liked this. I don't think there's anything in this little glossine bag, but I did put a sticker on it. And here I'm kind of tipping over into, let's just use some of my things, because if I'm always making my own ephemera and using junk, then I will never get to use, you know, the stickers out of my sticker books and things like that. So I'm kind of doing that. I just really love creating this book, and the fact that it was made out of trash kind of gave me permission. Sometimes, I think around the same time I was making a junk journal. It was very beautiful. It had a lot of like stitched in pockets and decorated things, and it was made out of like this really pretty scrapbooking paper. It was very nice. And but also I didn't really have a use for it. But this book, I did have a use for it, and the use was just put in whatever you want and do whatever you want. Here all these lines were made. I inked like some corrugated cardboard and stamped it in here, because this book was junk. I mean, it's literally made out of garbage, and the only thing, I can just make it better by adding beautiful things to it, by writing my words in it. It just makes it better and better. And so that was the idea. This is like junk mail, and I put this sticker over the top, and I just tore up this letter that was trying to sell me something, or get me to sign up for something. And I tore it up because I liked the font and I thought it looked cool. This is a paper doll. I saw an idea for somebody who was making paper dolls in Somerset magazine. It was very cool, so I decided to try it, and this is a lot of fun. And it's just kind of collaging and doing things like that. This was like a 3 good things. You're supposed to write 3 good things about your day. And so I kind of did it for one day and made it kind of fancy. I like that. I just kind of left this paper, and I found this, just added like all these things. Not a super fancy page, but it's fun and I like it. And here I made this. This was just kind of an idea thing, and I think I made this and stuffed this. I saw this idea on, I think I was watching Pam at the Paper Outpost was making these little books out of book pages. I decided to try it and put it in here as an idea for later. Very cute. Has all kinds of little things in there. Really love it. So I really like this just because it's very permissive to play in a journal that is so, I don't know, there's just, nothing you can do wrong here. Nothing can go wrong here. And I really, really liked that, and I think it's helped me working my way through this journal. This is a poem that a friend of mine wrote a long time ago. We went on a hiking trip up in the mountains, and we went backpacking, and she wrote a poem about it. It was very cool. This is my wristband from when I stayed at this hotel in Sarasota, Florida. Very cool. And then this is just, this is actually a journal card, and it's made out of packing paper that I've sewn around. There's just so many cool ideas. I like to write on stationery sometimes, and so that's just a journaling page. And then there's a card in here. This was some cards that I got in the mail. They're asking for a donation, so they sent me some free cards. Journaling with some stamping, lots of cool ideas in here, really. And this is really truly a junk journal, but it's one that's like been used and kind of lived in, so you know, This is just some scrapbooking paper that I turned into a little booklet that goes into this belly band along with a journaling card. Like, look, I journaled on my journaling card. And then this is a pocket. More journaling cards, which I don't think I've used. But I really loved how this came out. These different colored papers were handles on this cool paper bag that I got, and I haven't been able to find another one, but it was just the handles on a paper bag, and when I unrolled them, they were these cool printed papers that have like little designs on some of them, and I haven't found any more bags like that, but that was super cool for a junk journaler because, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I didn't throw that away. That is a piece of washi tape that I've used as a paperclip decorator top. And then this is a pocket. This is just made out of, like, I don't know, some jelly print. And then there's that. And I have these feathers everywhere. And that is a digi-print that for some reason printed out in purple. It wasn't supposed to. Oh look, this is a packing tape transfer. This came out of a magazine, and I put a packing tape over it and then rubbed the back off. So that's kind of cool. And there's a belly band, which is just a matte piece that's got. Oh no, it's just like that. Go to your local travel center for your city or state, and you'll find things like that. This is just a pocket, and it kind of lives in this pocket, and I don't have anything in there right now, so I could add something. This is a button, not a little, it's just a little cluster. Very cool. This is just a journaling card. It's on an index card. I probably have a quote. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. And then another note for myself on stationery. I just write myself letters in my journal. They're not really letters. They're just journaling cards or things that I like to journal on. This is a clothing tag, and it looks so cool. And that's just coming up. Anyway, here's a picture of me. I went, it's in the Puget Sound. You get these, like, there's these huge starfish. They're either orange or purple. And I found one. Another clothing tag tucked in. That's a pocket. Lots of cool ideas. Here I used a sticker along with just this is from a nursery catalog. Lots of garbage went into this. Trash at its finest. A washi tape covering just an index card. Oh, it says we're to January 15th apparently. This is just a fun thing that you can find in here. It's got this thing that I bought off of Temu, and it's decorated on the back. Really just, I love how some of this stuff came out, and it got better as I went along. This is a place to journal. It's just a decorated and slightly decorated envelope. This one doesn't feel like it has anything in it. So I could put something in there, and I probably intended to, and I probably never will. Unless someday I want to. Anyway, this is just a place. It's great. I love this journal because, like I said, it was just so freeing to make, and so just allowing me to play around and to add things, and it didn't really matter, and it didn't have to be perfect, and I didn't have to think about anything except for, what do I really want to do? What do I want to put here? These are kind of things I've added more recently. This was a bar of soap came wrapped in this, and somebody gave it to me. It was like a decorative soap, like, you know, you would get from a friend. And so there's that, and then there's just some paper, and that's from a National Geographic envelope if you want to renew. Oh, this is cool. This is a card I made quite some time ago in a class that's I can't remember what these things are called.
Snapchat news is the worst thing to happen to the human race since the Black Death. It perfectly encapsulates everything that people rightfully hate about Gen Z. Every single title is clickbait. The topics that they refer you to are things which could barely even be classed as news. And of course it spreads more misinformation than a politician does lies. The only redeeming thing about it is being able to see the Ben Shapiro show and go,
well, hopefully I remember to edit that out. There's this thing where you can make cards, and I can't remember what they're called, so I'm not going to worry about it. But a friend of mine did this on Zoom a long time ago, and I put it in here and made it into a pocket because I had no use for it otherwise. These are some paper dolls I got as a digi kit off of from Pam at the Paper Outpost. If you want to check out our Etsy shop, they're cute. And I put all the extra clothes in here, and it looks like I didn't completely cut out all of those, but I came close. How's that? One of the things I just had to have because they were adorable. Look at how cute these are. Look at these paper dolls. Oh my gosh, and they just kind of live in my journal. They can go around. For fun. Alright. Oh, this isn't too bad so far. Some stickers, just decorating some plain packing paper that I put on tissue paper from bathroom tissue. Some of these are not super decorated. This is a stencil that I have, but I drew it some fancy hair. And some of these things, this is about probably where I stopped writing. We are in the last signature, so that's not bad. There are things tucked in here. I got, you know, keep some greeting cards in here. I grew these in my garden, so I tucked them in there because I used the whole pack. Birthday cards from family. Have some place to stick them. Then I kind of stopped and fell off here at the end. I kind of like to decorate ahead, which is a thing that I generally do. We got this as a thank you note from Instacart. We ordered some Instacart, and they gave us this beautiful thank you card, and it's wonderful note from the Instacart driver, and I was like, I know exactly what to do with that, so I stuck it in here. That was very charming and wonderful. So there's a belly band here, and I used some art sprays. I just loved filling this journal. Oh, there's a picture of us. Look at this. This is like already fading, and that happened like, I mean, it's just a receipt printer, like one of the little thermal printers. I didn't expect it to last very long, but I kind of expected it to last a little bit longer than that. That's good to know. I should have written the date on there. Playing with markers. Just, this is some collage, stamps, and things from magazines. Oh, I remember when we made those. I mean, these are all just like, these are little art things that I made, and I didn't really have anywhere to put these little Russian stacking dolls that I had drawn. So they wound up in here, which is one of the things I love about this too, is it's just such a great place to kind of collect things that go. And that's just a pretty card. This is actually a belly band. This is actually just some ephemera. This is from the top of a paper pack that I had that was from Mr. Penn. So there's that. And I have my compass and my notes for how to use a compass. Somebody gave me a compass for Christmas. It was fancy in a little box. And then here I've used some chopsticks covers, and it's got directions for how to use your chopsticks, which I thought was cute. Oh, and then, you know, I had some rub-ons that I put on here. There's a journaling card. I should probably finish this. I have these attitude, cats with attitude, catitude stickers. So this is, I mean, this was just a card that was, I got it from a local shop. I think a local artist made this. This is where I've been storing my 50 dreams lists. I haven't done one for a while. I like to do one every like 4 to 6 months, but sometimes it's much longer. But I like to write a 50s dreams list. I think it's a cool way to kind of start seeing what my goals should be. And you just like brainstorm 50 dreams. I kind of have the idea that I might want to put them all in a one journal and just have a 50 dreams journal and rewrite it. But anyway, that seems terribly organized for something that I spontaneously do just when I want to write goals and I don't know what they should be exactly. It's really cool. You should do one. And I don't really read over them. I kind of glance through them and pick a few things out, and they're interesting to keep and look at later to see what you've kept and what you haven't. As an envelope, it has my address on the other side, so I'm not going to show you what's on the other side, but I've just stuck that in there. I love this paper. This paper is fantastic. That's a button. I thought that it went really well with this orange. This is a little bit different. This is a thing that I did very recently, and we got some magic cards that were Doctor Who, and I love Doctor Who, and I've written Doctor Who quotes around here. I'll read you my favorite one. Do what I do, hold tight and pretend it's a plan. That is my favorite Doctor Who quote. There's the TARDIS. Different doctors. This is an extraordinarily bulky page. I think I had eventually started looking at Reddit a lot, and if you go to Reddit junk journals, you see a lot of pages that are like similar to this, where they use a lot of like packaging materials and things like that. Very different, I feel like, than YouTube junk journals. So that was fun. This is where I kind of came back to gratitude, because I remember this was a gratitude journal, and gratitude can and maybe should be tied to a sense of obligation or indebtedness. I don't know where that came from. I think it's a quote from somewhere. I don't think that's what I said. Thank the universe for taking everything it has taken and giving to me everything it is giving. Balance. Rupi Kaur said that. This is a pocket. Organizing things to help. This is a class that I took, and she had us write out some things, and that was one of the phrases that I wrote, and I just put it on here. I had it for a long time. This is a rub-on transfer. I was playing around with that. And this is just a collage. I did not finish this really strongly. I There is a moon calendar from last year. This is just a piece of artwork where I was drawing an owl on a book page that had some jelly printing on it. This is about it. Don't think there's a whole lot more in here, but that is kind of my junk writing journal. I love this thing. This is actually a pocket. I can put things in there. Absolutely love this journal, and it was so much fun to make and to decorate and to do, and I may come back someday and recover it, but I also have a list of things that I want to get done, so I might just leave it beautifully patched together as it is. So if I get really inspired one day, I might recover it. But I think she's beautiful. I love her. Other people I think are embarrassed by her, but I think she's beautiful. Happy Friday. I have a lot of editing to do in this video. Hopefully you won't notice and I did all my job correctly. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have the best weekend. I'm going to leave some links below to my Ko-fi shop, which is new. I have started a blog. So check that out if you're interested. It's all about journaling and what I think about it, and I think it's pretty wonderful, so check that out. Also, I have an Etsy shop. The link is down below, where I have some journals and a few digitals if you're interested, and check that out if you're interested. And also I have some Amazon links to things and supplies that I use in my junk journals, so check that out. If you go there and purchase something from my shop, that helps me and it doesn't cost you anything additional, so please do that. A huge thanks to Gwen the Trash Witch. Thank you to everyone who is subscribed to my channel. If you find yourself here and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It helps my channel. I'm really trying to grow into a big, strong junk journaling megalith. That would be fantastic. Thank you so much to everyone who subscribes, who watches my videos. Please be sure to leave a comment below if you're interested in anything that I've said. Say so if you want me to see me do anything. If anything was really interesting to you, I can make a video about it and share that with you. And check out, if you like this journal, I would really suggest, I have a playlist called The Decorated Journal, and it is a journal that I'm doing that's very much in the same style, and it is better. It is less junky. There is some, it's really kind of scraps off my desk, and anyway, and fun things. So check that out, and I will see you next Friday for Flip Through Friday. I'm going to go back to cleaning off my desk so that I'm ready for tomorrow. I will see you next time, and until then, stitch scrappily and scrap happily. Bye!